What's up, guys? It's Garage Goons, the most trash show on YouTube, and thank you for watching. I'm your boy Tyler, and today I want to talk about a comparison in what I believe to be, in my opinion, the best budget versus just the best shin guards for Muay Thai and MMA. Okay, a little bit about me if you're new to the channel. I started out I started competing in 2011 in MMA, and my last fight in MMA was in 2013, I believe, or it might have been 12. So I've been out of the MMA game for a while. I still actively train, especially on my sparring Fridays, with guys that I'll have old homies, new homies, whatever, that still primarily participate in MMA, and we will train MMA. But I primarily am a striker, and I coach Muay Thai / kickboxing as well as boxing, and I just compete in that now. And my wife likes it better that way, that I'm not in the cage, and she prefers me in the ring if I'm going to do any of it. So the first shin guard I'll show you, and I do have a video of another pair of these that I sold to a student for $40 because they didn't have shin guards and he really liked mine. These are the Venom Elite Evo shin guards, okay? Now, I have a whole other video. If you scroll down on my channel, you can find them. My old pair was all black, all blacked out, murdered out. And these are, in my opinion, the best money can buy. They go for about 120 US. I'm not sure what they go for overseas or whatever, but I think that'd be around 100 British pounds if I'm, my math is mathing. But these are the absolute best. You can go watch again that full breakdown of all of the features and stuff, but I'm going to go over quickly some options that you have, because I know a lot of times people get into MMA and Muay Thai and think that they only need to get the best equipment, because guys like me are equipment snobs, for myself personally, and have really expensive gear all the time. I think the most important thing in training is having the right equipment, which means the right equipment for your budget, and you shouldn't let price stop you from training, okay? You can totally get by, and I have another video on the best budget gear if you're just getting into Muay Thai or MMA, with not having to buy the absolute best, the best everything. I think the best way to do it is buy what you can afford initially, and then save up and slowly upgrade your gear, because the good thing about expensive gear is if it's high quality, typically it'll last a long time. So even if you buy, let's say, your first expensive pair of boxing gloves first, and you still have your cheap shin guards, well, your boxing gloves are going to last you a long time, hopefully, and you can wait to save for your shin guards. You don't have to buy all of this stuff at once. So, but this, again, $120, and I'll show you some of the features. You have strap over strap, which I know in the community is a big hot topic. A lot of people like the hook and loop system, where you pull one strap through like a slit right here, or a metal D-ring, and strap it over itself, and they feel like it's a tighter grip. For me, I prefer strap over strap, and I'll tell you why. I have big, thick boy calves, and I have tried a lot of hook and loop shin guards in the past, and my calves have just been too wide to where I can't get a good enough bite. So I actually prioritize that, but that's a preference thing, guys. I also like this style of shin guard, which is basically a symmetrical profile. I know, like the Fairtex ones, if you look at the Fairtex ones, the knee is flared up. My dog's coming in to interrupt my video. The knee is flared up on one side. There is a purpose to that. It's for checking kicks and giving you extra protection. I like having my whole knee exposed, and I don't want any padding over any part of it. So I also don't like the types that like flare up in the middle right here, because that's covering the knee. I want to check your kicks, and I want my bare knee to be hitting your shin, okay? That maybe sounds like I'm an asshole, but no, we preach in our gym, don't throw naked kicks. Try to avoid naked kicks. Sometimes you throw them, but hey, if someone's a really good checker, if you're sparring, you've been hit with a naked kick, you've thrown a naked kick and someone's perfectly checked it, it fucking hurts. And that welt on your shin is going to be there a while, okay? So it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your performance and everything. So The way these are designed is they have the little left right here and the right on the other one. Okay, on the strap, on the top strap. They have two very wide straps, almost 3 inches long. This is like, or 3 inches tall, I guess you could say. And so this is one of the widest straps I've ever seen on a shin guard. Most of them are going to be much significantly smaller. I like that just because it's just more grip, more bite, more stuff going against your skin. And also you have this rough texture it's divisive. You either love it or you hate it. It's a rough texture, so that's what that's going to do is, while it may not feel as comfortable when you first put it on, and as like a tricot lined shin guard, what it is going to do is provide extra grip. So you got good fat grips on the back and good rough grip on the front. So there's literally going to be very little to no sliding around at all, which is what you want when you're sparring. You don't want to be reaching down and adjusting your shin guard all the time. I know guys that still rock the RDX ones, and those things are sliding all over the place, and they're constantly reaching down and adjusting them. So that's something to be aware of. It has a behind the ankle strap, elastic strap, and it has an under the foot elastic strap. And these are both, this is about 1.5 inches, and this is about 2 inches. Hi, Stella. And again, 120 bucks. Now this is half the price. These are my Valley Sport Nista shin guards. And as you can see, it kind of looks like they borrowed a lot of their designs. What do you think? You like it? From Venom, right? From everything from like the ridge in the middle here, right? On both of them, to the foot, to also this perforated design on the side right here that both of them have, okay? Now these do feel distinctly different when you have them on. First of all, this has a tricot smooth surface thing to put in here. So these, I don't experience too much sliding with these, but I think if I had to say one would slide more than the other one, it's going to be these. The other thing on the Valley is, I'm going to let you hear it and then I'll explain, okay? Versus, okay? So what you're hearing is this one is more rigid. It's more hard. The padding itself, you can push into it and you can sort of see, hopefully, the indentation, and it slowly pushes back. These comes right back and they're softer. So actually, I think over the shin, if I was going to say one of them is going to be a little bit more, I don't know, I guess, I don't even know if I would say it's more protective. It's just a different feel. This one is just harder. It feels more dense and hard. This is actually a gel infused foam, so you get more give. When you kick, you can feel your kick sink in. Now, when you get checked with these, okay, these ones, I've gotten welts through my shin guards, bad ones, okay? So you still don't want to throw naked kicks. These ones, I also have had welts, but they're not quite as bad. I think these are slightly more protective directly over the shin, but I just prefer the Venom ones slightly more. But again, you're paying twice as much for these. Now, if we look at the straps, this is a nice faux leather strap, okay? And it feels like real leather. This, I don't know if you could hear, it's a little bit more crinkly. It just feels cheaper, okay? It's very thin. It's still really wide. These straps, this is why I recommend this to everyone on a budget, are still going to be the same width as the Venom ones, right? It's just made of cheaper materials. You can feel it. This actually, like here, feels like they use cheaper foams, more just dense foam. This is more of a gel, supple, almost like just a really nice, almost feels like you're pushing into like a punching bag or something like that. Heavy bag, okay? And this one has definitely more layers. Now, profile-wise, thickness-wise, I believe the Venom is thicker, okay? Which is kind of apparent. when you look at them and when you feel them on you. Another thing to consider is if you have big feet, big, long, fat feet like me, the Venoms are going to be your friend, because these are the longest instep that I know of a fully, protective shin guard, not a competition, those sleeve ones, but the fully protective leather or leather-like material shin guard. This is going to be the longest instep. So side by side, okay. Oh, I guess they're the same length. Same length here, okay. But you can see the width of it is much wider. Now both of these really, even though this one looks thicker, this brand is much thinner than your average Thai brand. It's more compact. It's more just on your shin. And the same with this one. This one does slide a little bit more, I experienced, left and right. I've experienced that from time to time, especially when we both kick at the same time and our kicks crash into each other. Sometimes I'll get it shifting like that. And that's, I think, due to mostly this slick material that gets even more slick when sweat gets in there. But it's a totally good, competent shin guard. The other thing, and it's a small thing, is that this one tells you, right, left and right. These ones, if you look at my stupid little Valley label on the top, I had to write L on there because I looked all over, guys. I looked at the tag. There's large XL. There's a little tag on the top, XL, okay? And I looked all over, but there's no distinguishing feature between left and right. They just give you two of the same exact thing. There isn't a left and there isn't a right. You just decide which one you want to be left and right, which I kind of think is annoying. I think they should design it, even if you're going to have them exactly the same, at least label them left and right somewhere, so that way it molds to that particular leg over time, which will happen, and your legs might be slightly different, or your bone might be, whatever the case may be, your foot, and the way they break in and stuff like that. You want to know which one is which, right? You don't want to guess. Which one am I using for the left leg? Which one am I using for the right? So that's a little annoyance with these Valley ones. But man, for $60, it's really going to be hard to beat this, especially if you're a big boy and you want to have Velcro over Velcro. I mean, if you really look at the design profile, it's clear to see that they totally ripped off Venom. And, for $60, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. They have a little bit of a different design of this part that goes over your shin. But it's very similar from the perforation to everything. I mean, I would go as far to say as it's possible that these are made in a same factory, but with just different materials. The foot on both of these, I know I've talked to people why they don't like Venom. They say the foot's too stiff. And when you first buy them, they don't hinge the greatest, okay? There are better ones out there for pointing your toe down or pointing your toe up, right? Pointing it up is actually way easier than pointing it down when you kick. But a lot of guys like to kick like this, right? Most people kick with their toes pointed down so they don't break their toes if they miss. Unless you're Jose Aldo and you're an absolute savage and you point your toes so you get the shin bone digging in there. Okay, but you do get extra padding over the foot here. And again, it's that nice gel foam. This one is, again, that same hard, dense foam, but you do get extra padding over the foot on the Valley ones. And, pretty much everything else is very similar. I would even say, yeah, the elastic band on the bottom of the Valley is a little bit wider that goes under your foot than the Venom ones, okay? And then the one that goes behind your ankle is a little bit thinner. So, I mean, small differences, but they're if you look at them side-by-side profile, very, very similar shin pads here, okay? So this is going to be $60. If you go on VALIsport.com, Valley Sport, and search the Nista, because they have a Lancer one that's costs as much as this one. This is the Nista version, and I don't think there's any reason if you're on a budget to spend more than this. And for $60, you're comparing it to things like the RDX ones or the Sanibel ones, and this, in my opinion, is just is just better. Okay, like just a fact. So, are we still recording? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. The light went off on my camera for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, man, that's my comparison. What do I think? I think you should buy whatever's in your budget, guys. I think that too much stuff is being prioritized as far as like the hip, cool brands. Oh, some guys walking with all Hayabusa, some guys walking with all Fairtex, all Rev Gear, all, Primo, or, Yokow, whatever the brand is, Twins. People get hung up on that. And I just like to get the best fucking equipment for the money I spend. I don't care if I have all Venom stuff or all this or all that. I mix and match my boxing gloves with my shin guards all the time. I wear these sometimes. I wear these sometimes. I like to give my shin guards a day in between, because even though it's completely open, these ones don't wick away sweat as well as my gloves do. Also, I put my gloves on a boot warmer, and that really helps dry them out quick. So, yeah, it's really, don't let anybody tell you, if you don't buy this kind of equipment, you can't train Muay Thai. You can absolutely train Muay Thai. You could absolutely train MMA. I know gym fees are fucking expensive, guys, and you want the best bang for your buck, that's going to be this. If you just want the absolute best, in my opinion, that's going to be this. Now, like I said, there are other options for shin guards that will have like a strap right here so the foot will be all loose on there. I don't like that because I like the protection over my foot. I have been checked in the past on cheaper shin guards right here where my foot bone meets my shin bone, right in this crevice, and then the whole ankle swells up, and it's a fucking nightmare. You can't move as well. It takes forever to heal, and you're just at the mercy of ice and elevation, right? So that's something to consider. So yeah, that's my budget versus my favorite, I guess, like absolute. If I had to pick all shin guards, I would go with these shin guard comparison. But yeah, man, there's still a lot of value out there. You just got to know where it is, guys. So hopefully I help some of you all out with that. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your homies. Thank you for watching the most trash show on YouTube, Garage Goons, and we are out of this bitch.